Oh, Nani. All right.
Nani is a nickname.
Uh-huh.
Unabo,
Sure.
my name, Solilo. Born and bred in East London.
Okay.
From Ilal Zasecholomna, Kwasandile. That's where.
Shalom.
Shalomna, yes.
Yeah.
Shalomna.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm from here, East London.
Yeah. So oko walapha
Oko
nje.
lapha. Oko
So
lapha.
nibanga bokwen?
We're four.
Yeah.
Our older brother passed away 2007, so it's by three ngoko. Only
Yeah.
girl, older brothers.
Older brothers.
Yeah, and the name comes from them actually.
Oh. Unani.
Yeah.
So you're the
So I
youngest.
automatically know if you call me Nani, then you
Yeah.
know me through them.
Oh, brother
Yeah.
Bago. Yeah. So you're the youngest. What if it's like great?
Not really.
Not really, no?
Not really, but yeah, I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
I'm the
So
youngest.
when did you start? When did you start selling Amanzi?
Amanzi, if I remember correctly, we started Amanzi back 2019, 2020.
All right.
And I say we because the initial concept of Amanzi started off as a family business between me and my brothers.
All right.
So we started Amanzi back then, but back then it was more of pushing the brand Amanzi. There was no actual AmanziShop like there is now. So we're basically using third parties to outsource or rather get them water from, then get brand them with our brand Amanzi, then get push them through different outlets. So that's where it comes from back 2019, 2020. Yeah.
Around there. Nani, the question stands. Amanzi al is that bad? Like maybe to that extent, now we have to sell water or we have to buy water. Amanzi like you, when do you think I'll think since you sit about around 2019, 2020, when did you start seeing Amanzi in terms of quality airdrop?
Yo, honestly, for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Because I remember back when I was in high school, which was like 15 years ago.
Sure.
Zazikon water shops. But back then, it was not mainly because of water quality, I'd like to think. It started off as something for certain class of people. But then you of a certain standard, you know. Then I think from there it became fashionable. You know. But now it's gotten to a point where it's an actual need to buy water. It's necessary for you. If you want to have clean water, you actually have to buy water because the ones that we get from our taps they're actually not of a quality to be drank, you know. So for as long as I can remember.
No, I just want to touch on this, but unfortunately, for your name. We've came with a solution, but now we're going to tap into this market to take some money. But just to pick your mind, is Elendo Manzi McLean, do you think it's intentional with government? Do you think it's something that's deliberate or a lack of proactiveness from government? Also, like on top of that, remember we had a shortage like in load shedding.
Yeah.
So there's always an issue. And then comes a solution. You know, do you think it's something that's intentional?
Intentional, I wouldn't say. I don't think so. But it's definitely a lack of proactiveness from government.
Sure.
I think it's a lack of a bit of everything. It's a lack of service delivery, first of all. It's a lack of accountability. It's a lack of it's a lack of service delivery because remember, access to clean water is an actual fundamental right. It's a right that citizens should have access to clean water. You know, it's in the constitution. Therefore, government has got the responsibility to give access, you know, to clean water. So it's government not doing what they should be doing, you know. And now then you find water shops who are then coming into that space where there's an actual need that is not met, you know, and people have had to find solutions, hence water shops, to then obviously purify the water that BCM does provide, because it's not like there's a special well where we get the clean water from. You know, we still use the water supplied by the municipality, by BCM. But then we have systems which then purify the water so that they are in a state where they can be drank on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. So it's a combination of service delivery.
It's
It's quite cool.
it's quite cool. It's,
So you have this idea with your brothers. You understand this idea that, but no man, let's actually have a water shop. But initially, Nani outsource
the supply of water.
Yeah. But the idea was there. You know, understand. So in terms of funding, Nani, in terms of funding, was it from your own capital? Or was it from government? Was there a special way that they could channel money to use and support you, anything like that?
I wish. I wish there was funding from any place for that matter. There was no funding. Even back then, 2019, 2020, remember I said the idea started back then. Then obviously, like any other project or business, there are challenges. We met with challenges. You know, at some point it died. The operations, you know. Then in 2023, you know, I've always been business minded. I've always been passionate about business. So in 2023, I was like, you know what? I haven't let go of that business, you know, idea. And now I'm in a much better state, position to try and give it another try, you know. So hence then this shop was born in 2023, you know, November. So now, even back then, there was no funding, you know, it was all from own pocket. And even now, the establishment of the shop itself, own pocket. And it's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
It's not cheap. It's very expensive, especially if you want to have a system that is going to produce the quality water that people need. You know, I'm sure you've had water or tasted water from different shops. They don't taste the same.
I've noticed that.
They may be clean, but it's not the same.
You know,
there will be something that you like. I actually prefer that versus that. You know, so that's because of the different systems that I use to then purify and clean the water. So you obviously have to spend when you want to invest in something of good quality. So, but to answer your question, there was no funding. There still is no funding. You know, till this day. So it's been 2 years now, coming up 2 years next month. So it's still from own pocket, and as a small business, at this point, it's still pouring into the business. You know, in terms of growing it, sustaining it, keeping the operations running.
So when you say remember you just mentioned that buying water back then was for a certain class of people, you understand? So that being said, were there some barriers to entry, like in terms of accessing the market of water? You know, what were the difficulties starting up? You know,
definitely, and there still are. It's one thing to try and push and get into a market. Then there's still efforts to then keep you know, yourself in the market and make sure you achieve what you aim to achieve. One of the if I can call them standard barriers that I've experienced as a Black young female, it's exactly that. Being Black, being female. Being young. You know, and the number one is then money. Money is a
advantage, being young, you know, and
and that's because the market of you know, selling purified water, it's again from back then it was classified or associated with a certain group, which then even made the knowledge around it to be just accessible or known by that certain group. So now coming in, they've already built relations, they've already built a network, and the knowledge, it's not an everyday thing. Not everyone can just come up and put together a system. And know how to run it and maintain it, you know? So that knowledge is still within that certain class of people, unfortunately. And it's not as easy as people would think. Water, you're associated with plumbing. It's not your everyday plumbing system. It's not. It's not. You wouldn't call your ordinary plumber and be like, look, come, let's set up a water shop. You know, it's a specialized skill. And because of that, it makes it a niche market, which then again, obviously now builds a barrier to a person that tries to enter with no background, with no background in terms of knowledge, you know, of the area itself, with no manual capital. You know, there's no trust fund that's sitting there somewhere that's, you know, that's backing up.
Yeah.
So those barriers definitely, and being black again because of the certain class.
barriers to entry.
You need to know someone who knows someone.
Someone, obviously.
Yeah.
As just to think about it, it's like to each and every industry, it's always the case.
Yeah, it's always the case. And one, you
It's
would think
always
that
the case.
it's popular in the public setups where you say, you need to know someone in that department in order to get assistance. Even in the private, I've learned that even in the private space, you need a strong network. You need to build relations. You'll get that easy information, but it will depend on who you know. And even being assisted, even now, after putting together the money, you will still have the challenge of getting the relevant information or the useful information. You would need to pay for that.
Sure.
So aside from paying for the system itself to set up a water shop, you pay for the knowledge of knowing what type of system to actually install, because you can have the money, but it's not as easy as going on Google and be like, Google,
how to
no.
Yeah.
You need people who know the actual type of machines, because the machine itself depends on your water source.
Okay.
So if you're getting your water from municipality, there's a certain type of machine that is then designed to then be linked to that system. If, for example, let's say the water source here was like your borehole system or infrastructure, there'll be a specialized purification system, which then works with the source being a borehole, you know. So all of those things are not things that you can easily, you can try and Google. There's, you actually do need a person that is actually experienced and getting knowledge to of such a level. You pay.
So we had the idea. We were able to raise some funds. We're not funded by anybody. We're trying to start this thing. We're talking compliance, certifications. Where do you go? Who do you know? What's the next? Where do you go?
With compliance, it's actually not that bad, if I can say. There isn't a lot of like different compliance certificates that one requires. The first one is the standard compliance certificate with your local fire department. If you're gonna have an actual shop, like premises where you are running a business out of, you do need to comply with fire and safety, right? Hence you see the fire extinguishers and the signs and all of that, you know. So that's the first basic compliance certification you would need. Whether you do that personally as the business owner or you do that through your landlord if you're renting the property, like, you know, myself. So fortunately for me, that compliance I was assisted with the landlord. So but you need to make sure that as a water shop owner, you have to have that certification. The second one is the certification that you would then need from the Department of Health. The local Department of Health, which is the department based at the municipal offices. They would need to test your water.
All right.
To then give you what they call a test report.
Just equalize
everything, all the water contents that should be there and should not be there. Which is the funny thing, they're testing your water, whether you've purified it correctly, after failing to actually provide. But
it's a story for another day.
But the point is, let's keep it to compliance. You need to comply. So they would come, or you would obviously approach them, tell them that, look, you want to operate a water shop. They then give you the forms, you know, that you need to fill up. Then an official from the health department will then come, take a water sample, take it to their labs, test it, and then provide you with a test report, which then certifies that your water, you've cleaned it to the correct standards.
Their water.
Their water, you've cleaned it with your own machinery to the correct standards, and you can therefore proceed to sell it to the customers. So those are the two main. That avenue of the water testing, obviously, you also need to be proactive. So initially, the first certification, I did that myself through a private lab. The same way you can get your blood test in government facilities and in private facilities. So you can do that as well. So I used the same company that installed the system to then provide a water test, you know, which they then need to take once you are fully set up. Then the final outcome of that purified water, that's the sample that they take, and then they provide you. Obviously, you would have to obviously have that certification updated or your water quality tested to still
over and over again,
depending on how the water quality is of your source. So if it's getting worse, the source water being BCM water in this context, that means that you also need to make sure that your system is actually now
performing at a high
performing
level.
to that level
Okay.
of that water quality from the source. So it can be sometimes 6 months where you need to just get your sample out, check if it's still, or a year, depending on yeah.
So from 2019, 2020, how has been the water quality? There has been some differences. Has it gotten better?
No, it's
It
not getting
hasn't. Yeah.
better. It's not getting better. It's actually getting worse.
Uh-huh.
Now you open a tap, there's algae coming out.
Okay. I can see
Yeah,
algae, though, as
the
as
green.
the mnyama sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
So it's gotten worse. I don't recall being the state back then. Back then, it started off, even from when I said, it started off as a thing of the certain class.
Yeah, yeah.
Then it gotten worse. That's when you find that it's an actual need for everyone to actually get purified water.
Yeah.
So it started off, with a certain smell. You would just, when you open your tap, then from there you actually see foreign particles, which should not be there in the water. So, and then even the color of it, it's brownish. So it's gotten worse. It's actually gotten worse, which means more strain if you're in the business of cleaning
water.
because now it means the system maintenance. It means changing of filters, upgrading of your system, because the water source itself, it's that bad.
So also now you're incurring an additional expense or an extra cost now.
That's what people don't understand. They think you're selling water, it's an everyday thing. People are coming in and buying and they think you're making money. It's not. First of all, you're paying utilities because by virtue of you having the BCM excess water, which is dirty, they're charging ridiculous expensive rates. So you pay for that water. Then you take on the initiative of cleaning it. You then pay for the system that cleans it. So the more dirty it gets, which you still pay for, by the way, the more expensive it becomes for you to clean.
All right. I was actually going to ask, but is it expensive? Clearly, it is expensive.
It's very expensive.
It's very expensive.
It's very expensive.
I just want you to draw me a picture. See, as young people, usually get to think maybe starting a business is something, something easy. You can make a quick buck. Would you classify maybe having a water shop like a quick buck scheme? Would you just paint me a picture? When's it going? What happens?
Definitely not a quick buck scheme. It's expensive to start the system itself. If you're gonna get a good quality system, be ready to spend close to $250,000 for a good system.
Sure.
Inclusive of the installation. Obviously, going to have specialized technicians to come and install. Like I said, you're not going to call your usual plumber,
obviously,
to come and install it. So it's expensive to start it. Then even the maintenance of it is expensive. Because, like I said, the system has to be regularly checked. Filters have to be changed. System has got to be, upgraded, maintained, so that it actually keeps purifying the water. The machine itself has got like different thermometers which show you the water level, so that you also keep track. So you're able to see when the water particles is actually getting worse. The machine will tell you, look, we're working overtime right now. It's becoming strenuous for the system itself. So it's expensive. It's very expensive to start it, especially with no funding.
Okay.
Because apart from you now having the establishment, there's the shop, it's there. Customers are coming in. You regularly have to actually put the money back into the business by maintaining. There's also other things like now your monthly expenses, other resources that you need to keep running, to keep the operations of the business running. The stock, the bottles, the caps, I never knew that they sell caps handles separate from a water bottle until owning a water shop. Then you're like, what? You think this comes pay separate for this, and you pay separate for this, you pay separate for the labeling. So there's a lot. There's a lot that comes into, not to discourage anyone. But I'm trying to be practical, that from the outside it does look like you have it going, it's going. People are coming in.
Come on.
And you also know how much you use a man. So you think, hi man, there's a lot of people coming your way. But it's actually so expensive to keep it running and to maintaining the quality, because it's the most important thing.
The quality.
One person comes in and the water doesn't taste any different from the tap water. word of mouth, it's gone. You done.
So I'm actually thinking, Nani, right? Since you didn't get the funding per se, yeah, I wonder maybe you can get funding so that xa kufuneka wenze maintenance, there could be some assistance, okay? Because usually they get to give you a lump sum of money. They say, okay,
Yeah.
start your business. Why can't there be like a commitment, like maybe to NYDA or whoever, SMME or whoever,
or even the Department of Health,
yeah,
you know? Yeah.
and say, no, the only commitment we're going to do for the next 5 years,
We'll-
namali besizakunika yona as a lump sum,
Sakunceda
sakunceda
maintenance.
maintenance.
Yeah,
So
so
that they can
maintenance,
become-
okanye sakunceda stock, you know, that you need to buy. I wish they could. If there is, I'm still here to,
You're open to that?
I'm very much open to that.
open
That
to
would
that.
that would go a long way in terms of assisting.
Yeah.
Just to actually keeping the doors open.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it gets, especially during winter season. I mean, we all know, you know, that your water consumption is not so high in winter. So there are those challenges outside of the expensiveness of running such a business. Then there are the market now related challenges where one, there's going to be quite a number of other water shops in the space that you're operating in. Then there's also now the decline when it's winter season and all of those things. So having a water shop, which is something that is actually providing something that is an essential need, it would go a long way to have government, you know, come in as offer assistance, like you say, just for helping with maintenance.
Sure.
You know, even if it's not going to be monetary, to say, look, we'll offer our technicians
come and maintain
access.
Yeah.
Come and maintain. Then that's less, you know, -1 stress, -1 expenditure.
Yeah.
You know, because right now the installation of such systems, they are all in the private space.
Sure.
And you know, anything in private is expensive.
It's expensive, yeah.
You don't get a government department that says, no, we actually can assist the person that has a water shop with the maintenance, you know? So it would, I would really love such an opportunity.
Yeah. No, it's really difficult, like the picture. So I just want to come with this sensitive topic. I don't know, maybe it's going to be sensitive, go again. But see, we have operating expenses, and we have operating expenses. There's these challenges. We need to fix this. We need to maintain that. Do you break even? Do you even get to a point where you get to make profit with these challenges that you understand?
Profit, not yet. Started in November 2023, not yet. The best that on good months,
sure,
it's breaking even. That's on good months. But so far in the almost 2 years, no profit yet. No profit yet.
So we really need assistance from government.
It's an actual need.
It's an actual need. So no, I think we need to talk with some people in government. You know, try and have a conversation with them to see whether because all this, there are no jobs. You know, and if you don't have a job, they're gonna give you 350. Yeah. But now I was able to create myself business. But now I'm not being supported. You understand?
And even like on paper, they do put it out there, you know, if you are of this, you know, category, Black female, you know, opportunities there, funding. But then the challenge is with trying to get that funding. It becomes impossible because their requirements are for people that have been in business for 5 years and 10 years.
Sure.
You know, they want you to have bank statements. They want you to have financial statements, which again is going to cost you, you know, to get those sorted out and sorted out within the required time. Because remember, whatever funding they put out there, it has a certain closing time.
Yeah.
Now, as a person that, remember, when you're running a small business, you are everything in the business.
Exactly.
Yeah, from the founder, you are the operations manager, you are the HR manager, up to being the cleaner and being the cashier, you know, you need to be there. Now, definitely as a person, you know, who's just started into business, it can go a long way to have, you know, actual programs that actually do help.
Yeah.
From even coaching, okay, fine, the admin side of things, because that becomes strenuous.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point of like, you know what, let me prioritize being at the shop and opening and actually trying to get customers than now trying to spend money to try and get all this paperwork done.
Sure.
So that I'm actually compliant. And even then, you'll find hurdles. There have been, you know, funding opportunities that, you know, I've come across, I've attempted to try and apply for, but that you find that
They're not helping.
They're not. Your application till this day, you're still waiting for feedback, and you assume that okay, fine, 6 months have gone down, maybe somebody else has been awarded that funding, or somebody else's application has gone successful. So there are a lot of requirements, and that are actually ridiculous.
It's cumbersome. It's just, I say,
It becomes expensive to actually go through the application process.
Yeah. Than getting the money.
Because
the process is going to take 2 years.
You'll take 2 years to get yourself compliant so that you qualify to actually push your application.
But I think the point I think government is missing now. You already have a business that is running. You just need assistance. And
it's more practical because it's there, it's established.
I
can tell you what challenges I have. I can tell you exactly where I need. It's easier.
But again, I don't know. What are your ambitions with this business? Do you want to expand? Where do you see this business going?
Obviously, expansion is there, and expansion in terms of other outlets in other areas, where I've identified a need, because like I said, back then, buying water used to be a thing of a certain class or a certain group, and then now there's no certain people buying water and certain people not buying water, because there's no water. There's no clean water anywhere and everywhere
anymore.
From suburbs to townships to rural areas, so everyone needs water. So obviously, being in business now, you see, you keep on researching more, especially when you want to grow. Sure. So definitely growing in terms of other outlets, but also growing the business itself, getting to a point where I sleep peacefully at night. That level of growth.
Yeah, you're profitable. Everything is going well.
Exactly. And there are systems in place which take off, a lot of frustration and burden on me, where I know that, what, my admin is sorted to par. The maintenance of I don't have to worry about that, because there's a technician from government, from whenever, that's on standby whenever there's a problem. Sure. And remember, anything that works with, a machine itself, there can be faults that I could have not foreseen. Today, I close shop, everything is working fine. Tomorrow, I come back, the machine is not even switching on. Yeah. I can't even start to deal with that problem, and automatically that's an expensive problem. But when I would have, a technician on standby, and then I know, or a place that I know, the moment I have such a technical problem, I go to an approach, and a person comes in, So it becomes strenuous in ways that could be made so easy if government would chip in with assistance, with support, even if it's not monetary, support, like I'm saying, technicians, administrative people to assist with all the filling in of forms and things that you need.
I was actually thinking of that when Anani, right? Because there's a program that government gets to do, when the YES program. I said, but they're going to give you like 2 people to assist you, and then when they're going to pay those people, you can actually, benefit from that now. Because
while I attend to the other things,
So for young entrepreneurs, what's your best advice? In terms of what to look out for, what would you recommend?
Not giving up, first of all. Not giving up. The moment you have an idea, no matter how small you may think it is, no matter how challenging it may be for you to implement it, but once that idea, that dream, you don't go to bed without thinking about it. You've got the capability to make it happen. It's not going to be easy, but it first takes you to be disciplined in what you want to achieve. It takes you to put in the work. And the work starts with actual practical work, doing the necessary research in the field that you've got an interest in, in the space that you want to venture into. Put in the research. For example, starting off this business started with literally going door to door to each water shop that there is in East London, tasting the different water, identifying which water quality actually I like, and I'm like, I want my water to taste like this water. Then approach the owner of that water shop. I'm like, how do I get my water tasting like yours? I've got this vision. So that's the groundwork. You know, you're not going to be able to identify which system to use because people think that you can just go to. I know there are a lot of water technical companies that advertise. We install our systems with, and it's inclusive of the what do you call it, the Georgia tanks and all of those things. It doesn't start there. It starts with you, the person that has the vision to identify. Because like we said earlier on, not all the water tastes the same. Different machines are being used. You need to get to a point where you are able to identify which machine and which type of method, you know, goes well with your vision. Because you can have a water shop installed, but if people don't like the taste of your water, or the machines that you have are actually not of quality to produce what people want, you're going to be sitting with a machine and people not coming in
trouble.
So you need to put in the work in terms of research. You need to put in you know, you need to be mentally ready, emotionally ready, obviously financially ready is the basis. You know, it's the basis. And not to give up, you know, keep, because like even though I've been discouraged with not having funding to this point, but that doesn't mean that I stopped looking for assistance. I haven't stopped, you know. I'm still doing what I can with what I have. But ultimately the vision is bigger than just this one, the shop, you know. So to young people that want to start in whatever space, keep going. Keep going. You'll discouraged, you'll have challenges, you'll have people shutting down doors on your face, you'll have all sorts of things. You'll be required to pay for things that you would know that, you know what, if it was my other counterpart coming for this information, they wouldn't have been made to pay. But because it's me, I'm paying for it, but pay.
Either way.
You're investing in yourself at the end of the day.
You're empowering yourself.
I've overspent in certain areas when I shouldn't have because of lack of knowledge. Because even me, some of the lessons are through actual operating. Some of the things you can't prepare for them beforehand.
I think
you know,
experience.
I've paid, for example, 3 times more for the sticker than what I should have paid. But then again, operational lessons, some things you will learn once you start. As you go, then you know where to adjust and what to change, where to do, and where.
No, I like that. Is there anything else that I want to give to people? Anything maybe and then I say, you know what, this is what I wish I could have said, or your son would have asked me. Anything?
No. I'd like to expand more on you know what we offer. Because there are so many other water shops, but you know, not every water shop, you know, offers the same thing. It's the same in terms of water, purifying water. But Amanzi, we offer personal branding. You know, so for different occasions, let's say weddings, funerals, you know, personal branding. If you want your own brand water, whatever you want on your sticker, we do that. You want someone's face there, you want certain message written, we do that. And we offer it in all the different sizes, even smaller bottles than this, the 330. 330 ml size, 500 ml size, 1.5. We offer for businesses as well, like corporate branding. So some businesses will have socials, corporate socials, and all of that. So for such functions, we'll do, you know, that personal branding for such companies, and even company logos. Some companies, you know, they just have their own brand water to offer to their clients, whether it's walk-in clients, professionals, you know, social workers, attorneys, firms. They want to have their own, you know, because to them as well, it's marketing, right? It's marketing. Secondly, we also offer ice. It's one of the best in town. I can say that. And I know a couple of customers out there can, you know, testify to this. Yes. So we also offer ice. And then we also offer water containers from a 10 liter outside of the bottled water now. So bottled water starts from the 330 ml, 500 ml, 1.5, 5 liter, and 10 liter. Then we have the water containers, which are, you know, the ones with taps on. So 10 liter, 20 liter, 25 liters. We do have those in stock as well. So we offer those as well. So
that's nice. So I saw
never. And we do deliver in and around East London. And we are reachable. Can I give out my contact details for orders? So it's 078 1088 261. That number is both for calls and WhatsApp. And then email address is info@Solilo Enterprises. So one word, .co.za.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Boom.